What's up, everybody? I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'll be looking at our first title fight of One Samurai, and quite frankly, the hardest fight on the whole card for me to predict. I'm leaving that out there right now. Also, the last fight I'm going to be predicting for today, I'll be doing the title fights each day, or at least 2 videos a day for One Samurai. Then Thursday I'll be doing Aljo versus Law. That way Friday I could probably do a live stream and try and talk to some of you folks. But more importantly, this is, like I said, probably the hardest title fight for me to predict. We have, for the one bantamweight kickboxing world title, we have the General, John Haggerty, taking on Yuki Yoza. This is such a damn hard fight for me to predict. You have John Haggerty, who is one of the most credentialed fighters in one championship, right? Former 2-sport world champion, specifically the former flyweight Muay Thai world champion, the former bantamweight Muay Thai world champion, and the current kickboxing bantamweight champion. And he's fought, and Haggerty's so damn elite. He's fought everybody, and has only really lost to some of the best you can think of, right? Raw Tang, Superleg. He's not losing to scrubs, I can tell you that. He's only ever lost to the absolute best. Everyone else can't really beat this guy. I mean, he's beaten other champions too. He Fabricio Andrade, who I give credit, went to MMA, moved to kickboxing, challenged Haggerty. That's not something you often see, and I give credit. But he couldn't beat Haggerty, and none of these other guys could. But, like I said, Thai legends. Good. Now, he takes on Yuki Yoza, who is one of the best kickboxers alive today. He has been on an absolute tear, undefeated in one championship, and coming off easily the best win I can think of, where he made Superleg look absolutely foolish in their kickboxing fight. Last November. This is so tough because Yuki Yoza, one of his best traits is making Thai fighters in kickboxing, not Muay Thai, I mind you, but making them look so damn foolish. Like, he's so good at looking clean, like he's in the Matrix, and making his opponents just look like they are a level below him. But now he's taking on the General, John Haggerty, and he is a different beast. I understand John Haggerty lost to Superleg. I understand this, but there is a difference between the Thai style of Muay Thai / kickboxing and the British style of kickboxing / Muay Thai. There is a difference. Now, given that this is going to be in kickboxing, there are some things that Haggerty won't have at his disposal. His elbows and extended clinching. This is pure kickboxing. So it's going to be less chaos, more structure, and more emphasis on clean scoring and control. And that could directly impact how the fight plays out. But with that said, let's look at their styles. For Haggerty, while he does lose some of his best tools, he still has some absolutely sharp boxing, good timing with his power shots, and absolutely real knockout power. Haggerty can absolutely hurt Yuki Yoza. I have no doubt in my mind. But now he has to win more in a pure striking exchange, not the prolonged clinches where he can sort of hold on to his opponents and then land a strike off the clinch, and more emphasis on his clean boxing and kicking sequences. That's where things could get tougher. Now, that being said, Haggerty is still the champion in kickboxing, not Muay Thai, so it says something that maybe he's a better kickboxer than he is a Muay Thai fighter, but, that might not be true. Who knows? For Yuki Yoza, his kickboxing is just through and through. He is a kickboxer through and through. Very structured, very efficient, very disciplined. An absolutely phenomenal kicker, for sure. I mean, he was able to beat the kicking machine. And Yuki Yoza, he's very crafty, right? There will be times where he'll fire off a low kick, hook his foot into his opponent's foot, and then trip him out. Very good at disrupting balance. Very good at firing off just rangefinders his kicks as rangefinders, not just his fists. Like, he'll oftentimes fire teep kicks repeatedly without much setup. And by that, I mean loading them up and firing with power, but just quick, almost like he's throwing a jab. Well, Haggerty, I would say, is more of a boxer type of kickboxer and Muay Thai fighter. He's much better with his boxing punching combinations and power. He has power in both of his hands. That is for sure. Now, for this one, for Yoza, he thrives in this format controlling of range, picking shots cleanly, and winning exchanges with precision. And that's often what helps. Plus, Yuza's composure is incredible, incredibly calm. He doesn't get drawn into brawls easily. And in a technical kickboxing fight, that is a massive advantage for him in this fight. He is very good at staying disciplined. He never gets into a firefight and always very mindful of his defenses. Sorry, going through my notes here. There's not just that, you also look at some of Yuza's biggest strength. It is his control. His control of range is beautiful. Like I say, he doesn't overextend, and he keeps the fight at his pace. He just makes his opponents miss, reset, and just look off rhythm. Plus his speed, his accuracy, his efficiency. He never wastes any strikes. He is so good at landing clean when need be. And as I mentioned, the composure is the biggest weapon. Never gets drawn into chaos. And even when opponents try to pressure him, Yuza is very good at staying calm, sticking to his game plan, and executing said game plan with efficiency. Now that said, Haggerty has some good weapons of his own in this fight too. The one thing about Haggerty in this fight that really gives him an advantage is his power, his clean combinations, and his excellent timing. For Haggerty, what Haggerty is very good at is intercepting his opponents, timing entries, and fighting behind a rhythm. But he can be hit. That's the problem, right? Haggerty, I don't think he's chinny, but one well-placed shot, we've seen drops Haggerty or knocks him out, like that counter elbow from super leg. Now, obviously, there's not going to be that type of elbow in this matchup, but it does show that John Haggerty can be hurt. That said, maybe the one flaw of Yuki Yoza is he doesn't actually have that much power to him. I know he has finishes. So he can win via knockout or TKO. But Yuki Yoza is much better at scoring and staying ahead on the scorecards than he is actually finishing his opponent with strikes. That said, he can absolutely finish Haggerty because, like I said, I don't think Haggerty's chinny, but he can get hurt, especially if Yuki aims well-placed kicks to the body. Now, how I think this style goes, a lot of it relies on Haggerty's more Muay Thai style striking, right? More chaos, more emphasis on power shots, and more close range. For Yuza, with his kickboxing, it's a lot more on the cleaner structures, firing 3 or 4 combinations, than getting out of range. So the key battle here is who controls the rhythm. Because for Haggerty, he's going to close the distance, make it a bit messy, and fire off his boxing. And if he can absolutely win the fight. But if Yuza can, keep it at range, control exchanges, and stay composed, I think he can outpoint John Haggerty. Now, I also think maybe momentum is also an important factor here, right? Yuki Yoza's on a hot streak, and like I said, coming off the biggest win of his career, beating Superlek, and has been improving fight by fight. So it's hard to look past how good Yuki Yoza has. He might be peaking right now, but I'm not going to say Haggerty is past his prime or any of that nonsense. No, I mean, Haggerty is still absolutely elite, and it's not like Haggerty is old, right? He's 29. Actually, they're both are still pretty young, right? 29 for Haggerty, 28 for Yoza. Both are still in their prime. Now, there is a danger for both fighters in this one because Haggerty could just simply get outpointed, struggle to close the distance, and be forced into Yuza's rhythm. But Yoza, he himself can get caught, getting caught in exchanges. He has to possibly deal with the knees of Haggerty and the right and the left hook, which probably is, I think, Haggerty's best weapon in this fight. Actually, I think about his left hook into his right straight is probably his best combination. I could see him hurting Yuki Yoza with this type of combo for sure. But at the end of the day, my final assessment, this is very close, very close. And I have, like I said, I've gone through the simulations in my head repeatedly on who I could think would, because I'm leaning towards Haggerty one moment, I'm leaning towards Yoza. But I think given the rule set, I think it favors Yuki Yoza a lot more because he's more comfortable in the kickboxing setting, he's more precise, and he's more consistent. While Haggerty, he is more dangerous, I think. He's more powerful, just like purely knockout power. But I think given the rule sets, I think Yuki Yoza is better in the kickboxing scenario than Haggerty is in this one. So for my official prediction, I'm going to pick Yuki Yoza here. I'm going to pick him via decision. I think he controls the distance, lands the cleaner shots, and wins rounds, just being able to be a little more efficient striker with his kicks, with his combinations, and his ability to set the fight at his rhythm and never let his opponents get into rhythm. So, once again, I'm picking Yuki Yoza, and I'm going to pick him via decision and new bantamweight kickboxing world champion. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on who you think's going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.